Hi, this is Elaine Rector with the SkuVault Seller Spotlight, where e-com entrepreneurs and business owners share advice. We talk about the crazy world of e-commerce, the challenges associated with it, and how to stay successful. Today I'm talking with Justin. So Justin, in a few sentences, would you mind telling us who you are and what you do?
Hi, Elaine. First, thanks for having me on the show, on the podcast. My name is Justin Fisher. I'm the Director of Sales and Licensing for Fabrique Innovations. I've been in the retail industry for over 10 years in planning and buying. At Fabrique, I oversee 10 licensed businesses, 5 categories, and over 5,000 SKUs, focusing on the sports and entertainment industry.
So what do you find to be the most challenging part of the business that you're in today?
So I'd like to call this the 80-20 rule. So when I was a buyer, 80% of my buys for the year are probably locked down. So if you think about it, you have vendors that you deal with year in, year out. You have trust factors in business. And, vendors that do the majority of the business every year, you go back to them, they refresh the assortment, or you go back to a product that always works, a tried and true item that you're always going to have in your assortment. It could be some kind of a drinkware item that it's never going away. It's been in the assortment for 10 years, for some reason, but it always works. It's always productive in the drinkware kind of business. Or in sports, to me, it was the throw blanket was always our big item that we had year after year. So it was a majority of our buy. When you're working in that 20% realm, sometimes it's a challenge because you don't know if you're going to get a full rollout with a retailer. You don't know if you're going to get a test because new business, there's challenges of establishing a relationship with buyers, especially when I go from one retailer working at a Fortune 500 company to going to a private company where I don't really know the whole landscape. So I had to understand and reconnect with other companies and all that. And it's a challenge a little bit because you have to kind of, you're not known to different retailers. You're going in, you have a new product, you're someone they've never met before. So that's a big challenge to overcome. But if you have multiple licenses, for instance, we have Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, all the sports leagues, we have Fortnite, we have Nickelodeon, you can align yourself with different retailer strategies. So if a Hot Topic or Urban Outfitters wants more specialty, not core characters, say they want to get into like a Lilo and Stitch or some 90s nostalgia that isn't your typical Spider-Man or character you would think of as the more obvious one because they want to differentiate, you can do that because you have characters in your arsenal under the licenses. So the more licenses you have in this game, the more you can align with corporate strategies. Barnes & Noble might do Harry Potter because that's more of a book line for them. So you need to have the licenses to open yourselves up, but also gain that opportunity to get in the door. And once you do, you might become that 80% if you're successful.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on that note too, what is the best advice that you could give an entrepreneur to stay successful?
I would say I have 2 things. One is do what you're passionate about. And the second one is make sure you network around you, especially at companies you're at or outside. So on the first part, I started out in planning and I worked for some really good companies, but like a Ross store. But I wasn't really passionate about planning. It was a great opportunity. I learned a lot. I love inventory control. I love mathematics, but there was something missing for me. It was two things that were missing. One was the category I was in. So I was in the like more of the home business. I was doing bath hardware shower. I was doing bath ensembles. So talking to shower curtains and shower mats and tub mats wasn't the most exciting thing for me. Sure. Even though some people look at it like a widget, this is a widget, that's a widget. At the end of the day, you got to love what you're talking about too. So I was in that business for a while and I enjoyed it. And along the ride, I learned a lot about how to, work inventories, what to look at, percentages, sales and turnover and all that good stuff, open to buy. And I learned a lot, but there was still something missing because I wasn't out there as a planner. I wasn't talking, I wasn't networking, I was in the box. I would come into work, get my coffee, do my forecasting, leave work, and my manager was the only one I really talked to, and maybe every now and then I talked to a vice president, but it was more of an introverted type role. I feel like you need to, if you have an introverted personality, challenge yourself to do things that are extroverted, get yourself out there, network. So my passion leading into sports made my work so much easier because I was able to come to work. I already knew a lot about the sports world. I mean, I'm on ESPN.com every day. I'm on Bleacher Report every day. So it's not a challenge for me to know what team's hot, what markets to attack, things of that nature. Creating unique, differentiated products for certain markets. Like for instance, when the Golden State Warriors won their 73 wins, I was on top of that. I created coasters and T-shirts for the 73 win season. So that went out to them. In 2016, I talked to the Great Lake region and told them that there was a chance the Chicago Cubs can actually win it. They have the pieces in place. They can win the World Series. They didn't believe me because they had not won the World Series in 100+ years. But I said, if we're ready for this moment and we do this right, this could be the biggest year you've ever had. And they won, and we were ready for it. So now the networking part of it is very important too. I didn't do a lot of it when I was on the planning side, and I regret not going out to meetups and things of that nature to meet people. You never know where your career is going to go. But I am fortunate that when I was commuting to Bed Bath & Beyond, I was actually commuting with the vice president of a division. I just shot some questions to him about my career overall, and I told him that I was looking to make a change from planning. I wanted to get into corporate strategy. And he said, hey, you want to get into the core of the business. If you're going to switch out, you should switch out into something that's not a niche job. You don't know where you're going to go from corporate strategy, although that sounds interesting to, talk about buying companies and what your company's going to do in the future. I like that. I'm a very strategic person. But he said, why not go into buying, which you get a lot of that strategy and leadership position as well, and you'll grow yourself professionally. So he said, there's a sports job open. So I had said, I was like, wow, are you serious? Like, that's insane. I'm in. So flash forward now, I'm here, and I've taken, even though I took, I would say, a step back, I could have been a manager on the planning side. I, took my career to the buying side, but I feel like that was a step back to go 2-3 steps forward, in my opinion, because I to grow that business at Bed Bath & Beyond into an award-winning business. And I also, found this job here in the entertainment side. So I've really grown my relationships with licensors, and I'm passionate about what I do.
Definitely, yeah. So if you don't mind, tell us about the best way to find you and any promotions that you might currently have.
So you can find me on LinkedIn, Justin Fisher. You can also, through my website, please, through the biddyboomers.com website, you can find all of our new releases. You can find us at Biddy Boomers. Instagram, you can follow us on Facebook also. We're really trying to grow that social.
Great. Well, this is Elaine Rector with the SkuVault Seller Spotlight. If you're an entrepreneur and working in e-commerce, I would love to have you on my show. In addition, to find out how SkuVault can elevate your e-commerce business through inventory management, please feel free to message me now.